Coach, a better performance by James Azulis. Played pretty solid today, but obviously you guys didn't get it done. Just what happened today?
Well, you're right. You're right, Justin. And James Akinjo, he didn't have a good night against USC. And one of the things that you're always anxious to see on a player is how do they bounce back? How do they respond, right? And James and I had a meeting, and I think there's some things that he really learned in the USC game. If you're the engine that makes a team go, you can be a really good engine, and you can be a broken down engine, right? You're still the engine. And I think that in the USC game, he might have let some of his shots that didn't go down affect other parts of his game. And we're not nearly as good when he's not, that type of player for us. Tonight, he was great. 25 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover. I don't think we could have asked much more from him. And I thought Ben Mathurin really did a good job as well. Azulis is going to be steady from this point forward. But Ben, I think he's a guy that now that we've played the games that we've played, we got to get him a bigger role. We have to get him in there more. And, from a defensive perspective, he's going to make plenty of mistakes. But being that he's 18 years old and a freshman, I have great faith that 2 weeks, 4 weeks from now, there's some things that Ben's going to be better at than he is now just because he's so young. Look, having said that, we are a horrible defensive team, and we played against 2 very good teams, but that's who you judge yourself by, right? I mean, you judge yourself by programs and teams like UCLA and SC, and unfortunately for us, we had a lot of great moments on offense. I mean, this team has learned how to score. We can do it inside. We can do it off the dribble. We have guys coming in off the bench that are scoring for us. And we're not turning the ball over. I think this is 5 or 6 games in a row where we're playing with, 10, 11 turnovers. Tonight you play against UCLA and have 9 turnovers. That's a heck of a thing. But we can't get the value out of that because we just have no answer on defense. Straight line drives, in and around the basket, and just the fouling is just off the charts right now. It's, we have a saying, undisciplined teams or players are coached by an undisciplined coach. And, fouling is discipline. Fouling, sometimes it might be you're outmatched or outmanned. But for the most part, if you have a problem as a team fouling, that's something that we or I have to correct. And, UCLA tonight got to the line 32 times. They converted 27. When we played USC, they had 11 points in the first half from the line. They were in the bonus, maybe the double bonus, about 8 minutes in, and we got a couple guys just absolutely hammering the other team. It's not basketball, and we have to adjust. Our players have to adjust. I and our staff have to do an even better job coaching and teaching them because fouling is a big part of the game of basketball, and we're on the wrong end of that right now.
With the fouling and the defensive problems that you just said, is that kind of uncharacteristic out of this team, or are these problems that you could see at the start of the season?
No, I think our defense has slid, but so has, our competition is higher right now. You learn a lot about your team when you play players like the Mobley brothers. And, tonight you have UCLA that has a guy at every position who's a threat. And obviously both teams are well coached. I have a lot of respect for Mick, and he does a great job with his guys. And, tonight we just didn't have an answer for them offensively. They're one of America's best offensive teams. So you really learn a lot about your deficiencies when you play against a team like that. And, we just have no answer. We went to a zone, and, everybody, it's like, hey, coach, why don't you play zone? We did. And we gave up 4 second shots on 3 possessions. It's hard to rebound out of a zone defense, and especially against a physical player like Cody Riley. So our rebounding left us. The drives we had a hard time with. And I credit Tiger Campbell too, because part of our game plan, especially in the first half, was to not let him distribute and make him score more. And a really terrific player like him, that's what he did. He said, if you're going to give me this, I'm going to take it. And I thought he was great. As good as James was on our end, he really negated James because he was great on UCLA's end.
Bruce, you're up next.
Well, Sean, you answered a lot of what I was going to ask about the defense and the fouling, but how am specifically all those fouls? I think you read, 25 or whatever it was. I mean, were a lot of them, in your mind, guys getting beaten and fouling because or just fouling out of frustration? Did you see any trends there that maybe can be worked on?
No, I think it's throughout. We have to be smarter. When the ball's in and around the basket, you have to show your hands. The way you're physical is by moving your feet and really using kind of like your chest, right? So that the guy has to go through your body, but you don't come down on him at all. Look, we have a couple guys playing 9 minutes. You play 9-10 minutes, have 4 fouls. That's a problem. It's the game's too fast for you. And I think that just us coaching it, teaching it, talking about it, and some of it is look, like we have a lot of new guys, and I wish we've been through the race. Like if you've been through these times with a team before, it's you get through it to the end of the year or the next year or the 2 years out, and you have guys that are in your program, they kind of know what to do. I really wouldn't put anybody on our team in that category. But to answer your question, Bruce, we fouled by giving up second shots, especially when we went zone. Had a hard time guarding dribble penetration, one-on-one. Some of our fouls are undisciplined, and then some of them are on offensive rebounds. And, I'm confused. It all depends on what night we're playing, what's an offensive rebound foul and what isn't. I don't know what that is out here. I don't. But that's a story for another day. The things that we can correct, we have to correct because our defense is our problem. And, heck, in some ways there's a silver lining to this week because going into the week, I wasn't sure how we were going to be able to score, how efficient we were going to be. But I don't have any doubt right now that we're moving in the right direction on offense. And I really believe that our best is yet to come as we give Ben Mathurin a little bit more opportunity, more time. And somebody like Azuolas, you see game in, game out now, he's scoring. I think offensively, I like what we're doing. Defensively, we're not even close, and we have to fix that. And, that's kind of why you have a coach and a staff. So we'll see how we do at Oregon State and at Oregon. If we can be a better offensive or defensive team, foul less, I think it will go a long way towards us winning.
Steve Rivera, you're next. Steve?
Yeah, Sean, the last two games, what did you learn the most about this team?
We can't defend. No, we really struggle.
Is this the most frustrated you've been with the defense in a long time?
No, I wouldn't use the word frustrated. I mean, every team presents its subset of problems. But, tonight in USC, and really, if you really look closely at Washington State, we kind of willed that out. I mean, we were in that same type of game here tonight, but the difference is we couldn't make the plays, the big rebound, the big stop. Like if you get a couple stops down the home stretch, you're playing to win. Like the next shot puts you up to. But we never could quite put ourselves in that position because when we needed to stop, the possession usually ended in a foul. A foul.
And Baker's
25 of them.
I'm sorry. And Baker's been in a funk. What's his situation?
I don't know. He hurt his hand, but obviously we're going to stick with Jamal. He's hasn't shot it well, but we'll learn more. The reason he didn't play in the second half is he has a hand injury, and I don't know if it's broken, if it's sprained. We're going to find out more over the next couple of days on his situation.
Thanks.
Troy Hutchison. Troy.
Azuolas, as you mentioned, he had a good game today. 11 points in the first half, only 4 in the second. Was it something UCLA was doing different defensively that kind of quieted him in the second half?
Yeah, I thought he had a couple pretty good looks down the stretch. I mean, you guys kind of watched the same game as me. They didn't go down. I mean, we got him the ball a couple times deep. He had a couple moves in and around the rim there. Just, the ball didn't go in for him. But, it's just, look, when you have a low post guy, you have a forward, the narrative is always, well, he had 15 in the first half, but he only scored 4 in the second. You guys got to do a better job getting them the ball. And the game doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I can make the case that, hey, made some tough shots in the first half. It's just we get the ball to the players that need to score. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, I judged the game by Azuolas got 12 shots and 3 free throw attempts. He had 3 second shots. He had 15 and 8, So he had a good night. Maybe if a couple more go down, he has 20 and 8, But we weren't able to get him to the line. I thought a couple times we were close to getting him to the line.
And we'll end with Bruce Pasco. Bruce?
Yeah. Sean, just follow up on Jamal. Is that a shooting hand? And by the way, is his ankle at least fully better at this point?
I think his ankle is feeling better, but we'll know more about the hand, I guess, over the next day or two. Probably get an X-ray here tonight and figure it out. But Jamal couldn't go in the second half. That's why played 23 minutes. I know he didn't play much in the second half. That's why.
All righty. Thank you.
So he heard it in the first half, or was that something he had coming in?
He heard it in the first half.
I was just wondering. Okay. And could I ask you just to the Oregon State, you are scheduled to play that game. They're paused. I don't know if you'd heard anything new. Do you guys expect to play it, or kind of what's the latest there?
At this point, Bruce, we're just operating as if we're going to play the game and go on the trip. And, we got a couple of days to recover from this week and got to get back to work and really make our team better on defense. Figure out, Jamal's status and just generally do the best that we can here to move forward and be a better team. So all we could do is kind of take it one day at a time. As you guys know, things could change on our end. I hope not, but it's just in the year that we're in, things can happen really at any moment. So we're going to continue to do the best that we can and kind of get ready for the schedule that we're anticipating playing.
All righty. Thank you.